Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kaylene, and today I'm going to be doing an update video on my skincare journey, and telling my story about taking the medicine popularly known as Accutane. This video is well overdue. I was supposed to film this video like a year ago. I think I finished taking it about a year and some months ago. But you know, life be coming at you all kind of ways. So, and then I was supposed to be like recording my whole journey, like actually recording myself while I was taking the medication. I think at that point my skin was so bad, and I didn't want to look at myself. I didn't want to be recording myself. I didn't want to put myself out there like that. So yeah, but better late than never. So we're doing it now, so we're good. So we're gonna get right into it. First, a little background information. So the medication that I took is medically known as Isotretinoin. Everyone refers to it as like Accutane. That's like one of the old brand names for it. I think that brand specifically is discontinued now. But the medication itself is called Isotretinoin, but for the purpose of this video, we're just going to refer to it as Accutane. So a little background on how I even ended up there. So I always kind of struggled with acne throughout like high school, my teenage years, and in June of 2020 I finally decided that I wanted to like seek help from a dermatologist about it. In July of 2020, my dermatologist had started me on a treatment. It's like an antibiotic treatment known as doxycycline. I'm not gonna go too deep into that because I did a video on it previously. So if you have not watched that video, then go back. I think it's the first video on my channel talking about my experience with doxycycline and how that turned out. So I started using the doxycycline treatment in July of 2020, and I used it from July to November. My skin was doing good, and then in November I started to have like an adverse reaction to it. Like my skin went from being okay to all of a sudden it just like went crazy. Worst my skin had ever been. I looked crazy. That's the best way I can describe it. I looked crazy. I was desperate, to be honest with you. I was desperate. I had heard about Accutane before. I had heard about the very controversial side effects that it can have sometimes, but I was desperate. I wanted my skin to be clear. And so me and my dermatologist talked. It was like the end of November, beginning of December, and we both decided that Isotretinoin or Accutane was going to be the best route for me moving forward. So the process of getting started on Isotretinoin took about a few weeks to about a month. So like that whole month of December was just like going back and forth with my doctor and the doctor's office, just getting me set up. So the first thing we had to do was get me signed up for the iPledge program. So that is like a national database that they use to keep track of women or childbearing persons who are taking the medication Isotretinoin. Has some really serious side effects to this medication, and one of them is birth defects. So their biggest thing is you not getting pregnant while you're on the medicine, and then even up to a few months after you're no longer on it. So they have like an entire database that you have to be a part of, an entire program. Pretty much you're taking a pledge saying that while you're taking this medication that you will not get pregnant, saying that you've read all the reading material that comes with it. You have to sign all the paperwork. You also have to meet with another physician, either like family planning physician or OBGYN or gynecologist, someone like in the family planning area, and you have to get prescribed birth control for the entire time that you're on the medication. And that doctor also has a paper that they have to sign off on, that it's going to go in your file with your dermatologist, and all of that gets sent off to the iPledge people to let them know that you did everything you were supposed to do. You have to, when you're signing your paperwork, you have to like identify your 2 versions of contraceptive that you're going to use, and they have like 2 different tiers. For me, I picked birth control and condoms. And then you have to take a pregnancy test proving that you are not pregnant. You have to send those results in to your dermatologist. They put all your information in with iPledge on their part, and then you have to sign up for the website, log into the website. You have to answer questions. The questions are just pretty much like asking you questions about what's in the reading material, just to kind of like prove that you actually read it. So it asks you about the different side effects. It asks you about the different forms of birth control. It asks you about the iPledge database, what their role is, their job is. It asks you about some of the like do's and don'ts while you're taking the medicine. Once you're done with all that, your dermatologist will go into the system. The system shows them that you completed all your questions, and then they can send your prescription to the pharmacy. Then once your prescription is in at the pharmacy, no, actually 7 days from you finishing your questions, you have 7 days from finishing your questions to pick up your prescription. So you gotta kind of like be on top of it. So literally the minute I finish my questions, I'm like calling my dermatologist like, hey, I finished my questions. Calling the office, letting them know I finished my questions so they can put it in on their part and send the prescription of the doctor can send the prescription over to the pharmacy. And then within those 7 days, my prescription needs to be filled and picked up. Or if it's not, you gotta start all over next month. Literally, if it's not picked up in those 7 days, you have to wait until next month for your next prescription. Like, that's how like serious they are about it. It's like a whole thing, y'all. It's a whole thing. I hope that made sense, but it's like a whole thing. So that was the process of getting set up. And then while you're taking the treatment, every month you have to do your checkup with your dermatologist. So you have to do your appointment with your dermatologist. At that appointment, or however your dermatologist does it, you'll have to do a pregnancy test. You have to have a negative pregnancy test. And then once the staff inputs your negative pregnancy test results, then you log on to the system, do your questions, let them know you're done with your questions. So your doctor will send your prescription over. You have 7 days from finishing your questions to pick up your prescription. So that you had to do every month up until you no longer were getting the medicine. So for me, I took Accutane for I think 5 or 6 months. I'm pretty sure it was 5 months. Unfortunately, I didn't keep like my papers and stuff from it, but I'm pretty sure it was 5 months. I started in January and I was going through my phone and stuff, so the last pregnancy test I saw was in May. So I'm pretty sure I took it from like January to May. So my doctor put me on 60 milligrams a day. So you take 2 doses a day, 1 in the morning, 1 in the night. So I did 30 in the morning, 30 at night. And as your treatment goes, your doctor can like adjust it as need be. For me, I took 60 milligrams the entire 5 months. She never upped it or decreased it. I just took 60 milligrams the entire 5 months. And then if you miss the dose, I'm pretty sure, if I recall correctly, they don't want you double dosing. So if you miss the dose, then you just missed it. So let's say I went to work and forgot to take my morning dose, and then by the time I get home in the afternoon, it's like so close to me taking my second dose of the day. So I can't like try to squeeze in my morning dose and then take my second dose. Like, no, I just have to take the second dose and just throw the morning dose out. I'm not gonna lie, I missed so many doses. By the time I was done with my treatment, I don't know how, but I had like boxes of medication left that I ended up throwing out. I did dispose of it properly. I disposed of it at my pharmacy at work, but I had like boxes of that stuff left. I kept it at first because I thought about like, ooh, what if I need it? What if it like comes back? But I didn't need it. No. So like I said, unfortunately, I didn't stick to my plan of like documenting my entire process, but I was able to go back into my photos and find pretty much photos of my skin throughout the 5 months that I was taking it. So I'm gonna insert those pictures and let you guys see kind of like how the process went, like how my skin progressed throughout the process. This was June of 2020. This is why I started going to the dermatologist to begin with. My skin was getting like kind of worse over time, but it would always come and go. But when it came, like, who wants to have to deal with cystic acne? You know, you don't feel good, you don't look good, you don't feel good, it just, you know. So that was that. And then this is November 2020. So my face started kind of getting worse. So I noticed it was getting worse. So this is November 9th, 2020. And then by the end of November, what is this? 25th. So from the 9th to the 25th, this was such the difference in my skin. It was so freaking bad. And like I said again, remember the doxycycline had me looking like I was like bleaching. Ugh. So on top of looking like I'm bleaching, this is what is going on with my skin. It was so bad. This time, y'all, all I did was go to school and go to work. I didn't want to be seen. I mean, go to school and go to work. All I did was go to work and come home. I didn't want to be seen. I hated it. Around my mouth looks like it was like burning. My skin was so bad when I started the Accutane. So at this point, it looks painful. I don't think it was painful. It looks painful though, girl. So this was December 12th. At this point, I had stopped taking the doxycycline, and me and my dermatologist had already, like I said, decided that we were gonna start the Accutane because it was just too bad. So this is January 24th. This video is January 2021. And at this point, I was 2 weeks in on my treatment. I was ending week 2. I was coming to the end of week 2 of my treatment. So yeah, if you kind of see at the bottom right there, how some of the bumps had like some pus in it and stuff. Okay, this was February of 2021. Not the best pictures, but as you can see, all the most of the little bumps started to clear up, and it's back to being like cystic acne. So again, the first few months is gonna like purge your skin, and then a lot of the hyperpigmentation has started to clear up too. When I say dry, you can see even in this picture, like the bumps were dry. I was so dry. At this point, I don't even think I was putting on moisturizer. I think I was just putting on sunscreen to protect my skin from the sun. And then this was in March. Me in the car talking again. Look how good my skin started looking. First of all, dry. Dry. You hear me? My lips were so dry. Look, from February to March, that whole patch started clearing up. This medicine works wonders. I'm not gonna lie. April. I didn't really have no videos from April, but this is just showing just how dry it is. I was talking junk because I had went in the living room a few times that day, and my boyfriend at the time was in the living room, and I think he had company, and like this is how my face looked. This is how dry my skin was, and none of them said nothing. And so that's why I was doing this video, talking junk about people be so fake. Like if I got something on my face, tell me. This is how dry this stuff makes you. But look at my cheek. Cleared up. May. So I didn't have any pictures from May either. But this is just a picture I found where I didn't have on like no makeup or nothing. So we just gonna zoom in. Okay, curls, coils popping. Y'all see that chapstick in my hand? That's the medicated chapstick that you gotta buy. But look how clear my skin looks in May. From November to May, from December to May. Look at the difference in my skin. In 5 months. Picture with like no filter, no makeup is in October. So that is like 5 months post Accutane, and this is how good my skin looked 5 months after. Y'all see my eyebrows was waxed at that time. I was so happy I could get my eyebrows waxed again. Look how good my skin looked. So yeah. And it's been a little over a year, right? Because it's gonna go on like 2 years since I started it. So it's been over a year now since I finished my entire Accutane treatment. Now in the past few months more so, I've been seeing like some bumps come here and there. I don't know if it's because with having plaques on my hairline, and I think that even having my hair wrapped up, the oil still seeps through to the pillow, and then me sleeping on the pillow and it's rubbing on my face. Also probably stress, I'm thinking, because obviously I had a lot going on with like mental health, and then me moving to Georgia. So probably stress and, you know, hormonal imbalance, I don't know, probably caused a few bumps to come here and there, but they do typically go away once I just be like on top of like washing my skin morning and night. I'm still trying to find like skincare products that would be good for me. I know my dermatologist just really told me to stick to like oil-free products because she believed that the source of my acne was the fact that my skin was producing too much oil. But like, I'm black, so that's just what it is. But so right now I only use Neutrogena oil-free acne wash, and then I use their oil-free moisturizer with the sunscreen in it. But I want to find like better products for my skin. I don't want to use that all the freaking time. I want to be able to switch it up, use different products. She told me to use oil-free makeup too, but like, maybe that's hard. Makeup has oil in it. So I just try to be on top of like, if I do my makeup, just, you know, getting it all off, washing my face, and just taking care of my skin after the makeup comes off. In terms of side effects, like I said, really the only one that I saw during my treatment was the dryness of the skin. My face was dry, my lips were so freaking dry. My lips were desert dry. Like I said, I had to get like a special chapstick, a special medicated chapstick, because my lips were so freaking dry. That was really the only side effect I saw during the treatment. Now, getting into the nitty-gritty of it, would I recommend Accutane, and would I take Accutane again? So that answer for me is kind of tricky, because I understand the space I was in when I decided to take Accutane, knowing the possible side effects. And then now having taken it and knowing that those side effects are a real thing. One of the most controversial possible side effects other than birth defects is suicidal ideation. Like, everyone talks about why this medication is so dangerous. They don't understand why it's even still like available to be prescribed. And I guess, you know, side effects like any other medication, some people experience them, some people don't. I'm just gonna be honest. So like I said, during my time taking the medicine, the only side effect I experienced was the dryness. Now, the months following, maybe like a month, maybe 2 out of my treatment, I had a time frame where mentally I just went like downhill all of a sudden. During that time, I did have a moment where I contemplated the S word. That's my truth. I'm not gonna go into the details of it because that's just too personal for me, but I just have to be honest in saying that, like, that side effect is a real thing. It's scary, it's crazy. So for me, I've done a lot of work with my mental health to get myself in like a better place to deal with that, and to of course deal with other things that come at you in life. And so for me, my mental health is in such a good place. And when I think about that day, that moment, how I felt in that moment, would I ever take the medicine again and risk possibly going back there? No. To even consider taking the medicine, I understand the headspace you would have to be in to even consider taking it, knowing that that is one of the side effects, because I was there as well. Like, I was depressed, I was insecure, I didn't want to be seen, I didn't want to socialize. Like, my face looked so bad, it was just eating at me on the inside. And at that time, there was nothing I wanted more than clear skin. And you know, when you hear the side effects of medicines, you know that it's a possibility, but you never really think that it would happen to you. So would I recommend the medication? No, I would not recommend anyone take it. If anyone asks me about it, I will be honest with them and tell them my story and tell them this is why I don't recommend taking it. But if they move forward and decide that they want to take it anyways, knowing the risk, like they know the risk and they are willing to take that risk, it hurts to say, but I understand. I understand where you have to be like, oh, is that one of the risks? Oh, okay, well no, I still want to take it. Because you really don't think that's gonna happen. You just want clear skin. You don't really think that's gonna happen, but that was my alarm. I gotta hurry up because I gotta go to the airport and my friend's gonna be here in like 20 minutes to pick me up. Okay, let me get my life together.